Recently, Alex Jones has been freaking out over a story that he broke concerning the construction of secret rooms that might be used for torture, processing people for FEMA camps, and other horrible, unspeakable purposes that are being built in the post office. The post offices of the U.S. Postal Service. Alex Jones has provided blueprints of these evil, agony, torture, New World Order satanic rooms where all sorts of child molestation and stuff is going on. Now, he's not making those claims, but he's making the claim that these rooms that are being constructed are sinister. Well, as someone who employs critical thinking or who strives to employ critical thinking, this is an important story. If valid and if Alex Jones's interpretation is true, and this is not just a case of Alex jumping to weird, bizarre conclusions. Well, let me go through some parts of this story and, well, kind of give you what I think here. Story written by Paul Joseph Watson says, we have received documents from a military source indicating that U.S. Postal Service facilities across the country are expanding the construction of secret criminal investigative rooms which some fear will be used to detain Americans in the event of a national emergency, bioterror attack, or pandemic. Okay, here's the thing. The phrase that gives me pause, which some fear. Who fears? At this point, all I'm seeing that has any fear is Alex Jones and his listeners, and people who have a conspiratorial mindset about the world. That's who fears. Unless someone more credible that's not within the conspiracist community expresses concern, I think this is something else that you guys are freaking out about and will no doubt enter the conspiracist mythology, like the FEMA coffins thing. You remember that? And who is this military source? Who is the source of these documents? Seriously, who is the source of them? Essentially, I mean, unless I'm completely wrong here, we're being told to basically just trust an anonymous source that Alex has gotten good information from in the past. This is Alex Jones we're talking about here. So, a source to him that's been credible, well, to me is suspect. The documents show architectural floor plans for criminal investigation rooms that would be housed within U.S. Postal Service buildings. The blueprints show quote-unquote secret rooms within post office where the source claims families will be separated in the event of martial law being declared. Okay. Who is the source? Who is the source, and why should we trust the source and his interpretation? Why? Okay? Alex Jones is making these claims. He's not giving any reason whatsoever to take the claim seriously. Who is the source? I want a name. I want a name, and I want to know why we should take the interpretation of these blueprints seriously. And furthermore, I'm no architect, but I looked at the blueprints, and I'll go ahead and link to them so that you all can take a look. I went ahead and took a look, and Well, they seem fairly innocuous to me, and the only way that a person can freak out at all about the blueprints are if you're viewing them with a conspiratorial imagination. Then the article goes on to say, the United States Postal Service undoubtedly uses such criminal investigative units to conduct investigations into mail fraud through its federal enforcement arm, the United States Postal Service. But as with so many things of this nature, everything serves a dual purpose. Okay, here's my take on this. Until I see further evidence that Alex Jones's interpretation of this story is true and valid, I honestly think those rooms are used for investigation of mail fraud, and that you and I and everyone else out there in internet land and beyond, the only way that you're going to see the inside of one of those rooms is if you're being investigated for mail fraud. I think Alex is possibly freaking out about something completely and utterly innocuous. Seriously, I will go ahead and link to this story, and I would encourage you, if you are freaked out about this story, I would encourage you to read this story and ask yourself questions. Pretend that you're a skeptic. Seriously. I'm serious. Pretend that you're a skeptic. Okay? And yeah, see where that leads you. Okay, well, until next time. Peace, and let us be free from all anxiety and senseless fear.